Welcome to another episode of the Indie Empire, where we review all indie films, whether they're on Tubi, Amazon Prime, or wherever you watch your indie films. And tonight we're going to dish on a movie called Nasty.
And so now since we got everybody here, let's talk business. I know you thought your dad only had the car wash and selling used cars. He also helped me manage my strip club as well. But the real money came from my clientele list. My clients still leaks.
Never knew a moment could feel so right.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Mark.
Hold on. Why do I have to take over this family business? I never told you that I slept with Mark. Remember when we first started talking? Ken and I weren't serious, so it didn't matter. And yesterday we had sex. Then I had to go home and have sex with Ken too.
So what you're saying is good. You don't look like you can do what I can do for you.
I really did love you, Sky. You think you're taking over the business from the man that destroyed my fucking life? So be it.
Do you have any idea what this bitch put me through?
He just said the family business belongs to him now.
We knew the person was related to one of the dudes we did business with. It wasn't until now that we knew who.
Don't be gentle.
You make me so
All right, so let's get into this, y'all. So, what do y'all think of the movie Nasty? That's how
You wanna jump in? And put you on blast.
Yep.
Girl, you know you nasty.
Okay. What did I think about the movie Nasty? Okay. Overall, visually, obviously I'm not the technical person, so I don't know. It was solid. Like I could actually look at it. It was nicely put together. Some of the shots were could have been better, but it wasn't bad. There was some parts that was really dark, but I think it was because I was watching late at night. I don't know if it was actually dark, or maybe y'all could let me know. Was it a lighting issue, or maybe I just couldn't see? Now the story. I do like the Afro Latina vibe. That's something
Yes.
I feel like that community needs more of. So I was definitely here for it. I'm not a dialect coach, but it felt like some of the Spanish was forced.
It was.
And so I felt like if we're gonna do Spanish, do my La Latina sisters, right? And do it right. If you're not gonna do it right, then don't do it. But some of the Spanish was forced. The lead, Skylar, I thought she held her own pretty well. My biggest thing is if I'm gonna follow the lead, I want to be interested in them. I was interested in her pretty much the whole movie. Now, Ken. I'm gonna hold my opinion on that till Corta gets more on his, but he was the only character that kind of pissed me off. I don't know if it's because people feel like when they play powerful characters that they have to force this type of power. It just wasn't really selling me.
Right.
Because he was supposed to be like the weird kid in school, and I wasn't really getting weird kid vibes, but I also wasn't getting hustler vibes. And then at the end, he was talking to himself in the mirror, talking about what he was going to do, and I was confused as hell. So I wasn't really sold on his character. But yeah, Skylar did well. The best friend was fine. She did her job. But I ended up liking the best friend Carla's mother the most. And I felt the vibe the mother gave should have been the vibe most of the women should have had. She gave me like that boss mafia type of womanly look I was going for in that situation. I felt everybody else was a little bit more timid. And that's why I was like, is this a family? Are y'all really in the drug industry? Because you're kind of not giving it to me. That's my thoughts on as far as the acting and
right. And realistically, I'm calling her by her real name, Breah, but the best friend's mother, like I think the reason why she was so believable is because her Spanish was on point as well.
Her Spanish was so good. The father's Spanish was
okay,
good too.
you sound like my mother-in-law. So 100% believable for sure. And yeah, she was one of my favorite characters. I thought, and like for people that don't know too, the best friend is actually the director. And I know that that's difficult to direct. and be on camera as well. So Breah Stevens, shout out to you for sure.
Yay.
You did a good job. So yeah, I mean, I thought that the film, um, I thought it was good from like a technical standpoint. There wasn't really anything that stood out to me that was just incorrect.
Mhm.
Um, but on the flip side of it, there wasn't anything that stood out to me that was just like, oh wow, this was super like amazingly lit or well done.
Yeah.
It was just like I watched a movie and I was like, cool, okay, yeah, looks look, looks pretty good. The story was pretty good. From like a production design standpoint, I think that was kind of one of the areas that I think could have been a little bit stronger. And the
Mhm.
only reason why I say that is like things like this long passage of time and the main character's hair is the same throughout the entire, like I don't see
Yep.
any difference in like her growth, or like it's just like, okay, one day she's like trapped in bondage and she has the same look as she does when toward the end of the film, without giving it away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's one of, I guess, my more bigger critiques of this, but overall I thought it was an enjoyable film for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because she was a pretty girl. She was a pretty girl from the
she was
beginning
very
to
For
the
pretty.
sure.
end. She was a pretty girl from the beginning to the end.
Right. Yeah. And the thing
Um,
is, it's like when you say a pretty girl, like that's one thing that, from a technical standpoint, if I could spit any game, like we all want to look good on camera. Like
mhm.
all actors, actresses, like everybody wants to look good, but not everyone looks good all the time. Like
Right.
if you're a prisoner, you're not supposed to look amazing. Like the lighting is not supposed to be super soft, and like so the more realistic you can make it, the more that your audience will connect to it. So
Right.
that's a little bit of a tangent, but Corte, take it away.
All right. So y'all know I come with notes anyway. Y'all come with notes. So, which I don't have. Let me see. I don't have a lot for this one either. I just have one page.
Ooh.
Um,
One
One page. It's just like 10
it's a
pages.
small notebook, okay?
Okay.
It's a small notebook.
Oh, you get your Blues Clues
Well,
on. Okay.
notepad. So the opening monologue, I think could have been a montage
Mhm.
instead of just her driving. I feel like it could have been a montage to show what she was talking about, so it could be introduced to the different people and stuff like that. Um, I feel like the actors didn't feel confident in their lines.
Mhm.
That all of them, some of them, they didn't feel confident in their lines, like they was trying to, make sure they articulate each word and say each word instead of just letting it flow. Because again, us as the audience, we don't know what's on the paper. So we're
Mhm.
gonna believe what you say. Um, now this is gonna be funny based off the last review that we did, but I do appreciate them using the right, like when they ordered food, the takeout food, and brought it to the house. They actually said it was takeout instead of them saying, "Oh yeah, I cooked over the stove all night, and cooked this food," when it clearly looked like takeout. So I
Mhm.
enjoy the fact that in the dialogue they acknowledged it as takeout because it
Mhm.
was believable. Um, here are the two things that I have an issue with, and it's the final two things on my list. One, her age.
So,
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're
oh,
back.
we're switching places. Okay.
I see. Um, one thing I have an issue with was her age. Now, um, hmm. She said she was only 18.
Mhm.
Okay? Remember she said she was 18.
Mm-hmm.
But then as they was going on their date, her and Ken was going on their dates, they had beer glasses and wine glasses. And we clearly know if you go out to a restaurant, you have to be 21 or older to drink. And I think that's in all the states. I think the only thing that's different is the smoking age. But alcohol age is 21 and up. So, and they was sitting at the table with beer glasses. Ken had his beer mug, and Skylar had her wine glass or martini glass. So it's like, so are they really 18? But another thing that kind of threw me off is when so-called the family had died or whatever, and the uncle came over, gave them the club or whatever, and then they went out to a club. Skylar and what's her name? Skylar and Caller went and sat down, and they had drinks. But yet they were still 18 because they was like, how can we run a club and we're only 18? But in the next scene, y'all are sitting down at this club with liquor.
Right.
So that's just a deep, like I pay attention to a lot of details, like continuity kind of thing. So it's like it has to make sense for me. And that didn't make sense for me as far as age. Because I'm like, I want to be able to not follow the days, but follow the age so I can understand it a lot better. And then
I will say before you slide, that was my problem too. However, because I had to go back and watch it again, she did mention she had a fake ID. I don't remember what part of the story, but she was telling somebody, no, Carla said, well, what about your fake ID or something like that?
Okay.
So then that made me realize, oh, maybe she had a fake ID, which I mean, it could happen if she has money. But I was like you at the beginning. I was like, why are you drinking alcohol and you're 18?
I mean, we always drank at the age of 18, but we
not publicly.
Right, not publicly. We go to the club and then we kind of had a friend to go get some, and we drunk or we snuck into our mom and dad, the stash or whatever, I just started drinking at 25, so yeah, I had my first drink at the age of 25, so yeah, and that's a true. I ain't seen nobody drunk anything. Now we're gonna get to the title of the show, Nasty. We're all grown, and everybody out here watching and listening, we're grown. I didn't appreciate the fact that Ken had two women in the bed with him, and there was doing oral on him. Here's my issue with that. How can both women go up and down at the same time?
I'm sure there's some audience members who can probably answer that question. I don't know people's sexual bedroom fantasies and how that works, but I mean, it's
only one thing down there, but yet both of the women went down at the same time, came up at the same time, down at the same time, up at the same time, and he was enjoying it. So, I'm like, interesting.
Yeah.
Scientifically, that can't be right.
Right.
Can't be right.
No, for sure. And like that's one thing that like sex scenes are uncomfortable to shoot. Like I've shot sex scenes before. And and especially on an indie level, like up until recently, I didn't even know that intimacy coordinators were a thing and like a much needed thing on set. So, like, if you don't know what an intimacy coordinator is, like, look it up and, find them. And, they make everything super comfortable for situations like that and also realistic. Because the last thing you want is, like, Corta saying, okay, it just, you don't know what's going on. Everyone's uncomfortable. We're like, all right, we got the shot. Let's move on. And then the editor is stuck trying to figure out, like, how do I make this look believable?
That was my only thing is just that part. But other than that, my overall take of the movie, it was a good storyline. I was able to watch it from beginning to end. Even though I did point out some continuity things, I was still able to enjoy the movie from beginning. From beginning to end, and that's a good thing. So if I have to rate this movie out of 5 stars, I would rate it I would give this one between 3.5 and a 4, I would say, out of 5. 3.5 and a 4. If I had to choose one, I'd probably give it I'm going to stick with 3.5 and a 4, somewhere in between that. I would do that. I would do that. What y'all got?
Well, hey, Rachel, we switched places, so I got to step in now.
This is
You
your
third
time.
now. This is my time to shine.
It's your time.
So for me, I give it a 3. Like, I felt like I was neither like here or there as far as like, oh, this is super fantastic or this is like really, really bad. It was just for me like an enjoyable kind of like average film for me personally. And I was like, okay, cool. In the middle, 3, done.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the 3 as well. Again, I think my biggest complaint is just when you incorporate other cultures and languages, just do them justice, or just don't do it at all. And I just wanted to see a little bit more of just that believable Spanish, Latina vibe. I was kind of hoping to get out of it, but other than that, solid film, solid acting, no complaints.
Okay. Well, I want to give a shout out to. Let me make sure I keep the names right. Breah was the director. She also played Paula, and then Charmaine. I hope I get the name right. I can't. Let me see. It's a he or she. It's not giving me a picture. So Charmaine Spires was the
writer.
Was the writer. So shout out to them, and shout out to everybody who put the film together. We appreciate it, and so make sure y'all go out and watch it. Y'all let us know what y'all think about the film. And we'll chop it up in the comments or whatever. So until next time, we'll see y'all again on the next episode of The Indie Empire.